Representative Peter King went on Fox News this weekend and viciously attacked Rand Paul and made a total fool of himself.
Is the NSA, and let's put your lawyer hat on,
Right.
Mine as well, going beyond what is reasonable and necessary in terms of looking at phone records to keep terrorists at bay?
The NSA is doing exactly what it's supposed to be doing. No one's privacy is being violated. Despite what Senator Rand Paul is talking about, the NSA is not listening to American phone calls. All they are doing is they are taking the records from the phone companies of phone number to phone number. No names, no addresses, no content. The only time those numbers can even be looked at is if a foreign terrorist makes a call into the United States. Then the NSA can find out what number they called. Then they have to go to court so that the FBI, the Justice Department, can get a warrant to listen to those calls. The NSA is not listening to anyone's calls at all, and no record at all can be looked at unless it has a direct connection with a foreign terrorist. So Rand Paul does not know what he's talking about. And Rand Paul is really spreading fear among the American people. And he also, today I understand in the show, is also comparing General Clapper to Snowden. I mean, to me, either he's totally uninformed or he's part of that hate America crowd that I thought leftists in the 1960s. In any event, he doesn't deserve to be in the United States Senate for spreading that type of misperception and absolute lies, to be honest with you.
How frustrated are you then in your quest to keep us safe? You were involved in 9/11. You had a lot of constituents that died that day. How frustrated are you by these senators who are coming forward and perhaps making, and are they making, the NSA's job more difficult?
It infuriates me that people like Rand Paul are putting American lives at risk. That if we listen to Rand Paul and follow his policies, Americans could die, because the NSA has stopped attacks against the United States. Right here in New York, the Zazi attempted subway attack in 2009 with liquid explosives was stopped primarily by the NSA. If Rand Paul had been around and we listened to him, hundreds of New Yorkers would be dead today. That would be on his conscience. Or maybe it wouldn't be. Maybe it wouldn't bother him. I don't know. The fact is he has to realize there's an impact from what he says. If we follow his policies, it's going to lead to the death.
Peter King should apologize to Rand Paul. I mean, what he said there is absolutely absurd. And understand, I'm no fan of Rand Paul, right? I mean, look, he's more libertarian-leaning, so I like him more than a lot of other Republicans, but I still disagree with him on the majority of things. But for him to say that, oh, he's part of the hate America crowd, what does that even fucking mean, you idiot? Oh, yeah, if people die, I don't know, maybe he won't care. Peter King is just a genuinely stupid human being. Like, he's not an intelligent guy. And let's break this down a little bit. So according to Peter King, he said Americans will die if we end NSA spying, like Rand Paul wants to do. Really, that's interesting. Washington Post headline from October 15th, 2013, quote, NSA spying did not result in a single foiled terrorist plot. Now, Representative Peter King is one of those people. See, I don't think he's actively lying. I don't think he realizes that what he's saying is false. I think he hears the things that the NSA tells him and he takes it as fact. They're lying to you, you dumbass. Why not go to the actual investigative reporting that looked into it? And of course, all the investigative reporting says there's no evidence that NSA spying stopped any terrorist attack at all. And by the way, if they're so good at what they do, then how did the Boston bombing happen? If we're spying on everybody and we're able, they know how to get the terrorists, these guys know what they're doing, then how did that bombing happen? So they didn't prevent any terrorist attacks, and one actually happened, under them while they're doing this. But it's okay because according to Peter King, there's no downside to NSA spying. Well, that's funny. Headline, December 9th, NSA spying on World of Warcraft and Xbox Live. For what purpose? God only knows. They thought the Taliban was using that to communicate. They didn't find the Taliban using it at all. November 27th, NSA spied on porn habits to discredit radicalizers. But don't worry, they're only going after terrorists. Except if you, rock the boat too much politically, you're viewed as a radicalizer, so they spy on your porn habits. This way, if you ever get in a position of power, they leak a story that makes people, view you as somebody who's not fit to serve, and then, you get out of power. So they know everybody's porn habits to make sure that, you don't, if you rise to power, you can't rock the boat too much, or else we're going to throw you out because we'll leak the kind of porn that you're into, and that'll be a scandal. How about on October 30th, report, NSA spied on the Pope and the Vatican. Why? Because why the fuck not? If you have the capability to spy on everybody, you might as well spy on what's going on inside the Vatican because you're, a young 37-year-old guy with a lot of time on your hand, and you got the keys to everybody's voicemails, everybody's emails, everybody's everything they're doing on the internet. So why the fuck not spy on them? Of course. How about October 23rd? NSA spied illegally on French citizens. How about September 14th? USA mimics Google, or NSA mimics Google to monitor certain drug users. Really? That's beyond ridiculous. August 26th, NSA workers spied on love interests. Who didn't see that one coming from a mile away? If you have the capability to look at your ex-boyfriends and girlfriends, or if you're curious about, I don't know, my wife's been acting kind of fishy lately, you don't think somebody who works at the NSA is going to be a human being and maybe take advantage of that? And by the way, I have hard numbers on that. I don't even need to speculate. Very next headline, August 17th. NSA audit finds 2,776 violations in 1 year alone. But don't worry, Peter King tells me it's only for terrorists, not for all these other fucking things that there have been in-detail articles about that he just ignores. Because he's too busy listening to what the NSA is telling him and not actually reading the news where they investigate whether or not those things are true or false. How about this one? August 5th, DEA spying on Americans and covering it up. This is what we knew was going to happen all along. If you give the NSA the capability to do what they're doing, eventually the DEA is going to want in on the action to stop drug crimes, even though we're supposedly told they're never supposed to use it for drug crimes and domestic crimes. How about June 15th? CBS reporter reports that a reporter of theirs had their computer hacked and spied on. How about, Jesus, all the different programs. My list goes on and on. We have, again, the PRISM program, the Blarney program, the X-Keyscore program, or XKS. They store your phone calls, emails, text messages, anything you've ever done on the internet. But no, according to Peter King, none of this violates the Fourth Amendment of the U.S. Constitution, which reads, and I quote, "The right of the people to be secure in their persons, houses, papers, and effects against unreasonable searches and seizures shall not be violated, and no warrants shall issue, but upon probable cause, supported by oath or affirmation, and particularly describing the place to be searched and the persons or things to be seized." It says in the Fourth Amendment you need specific warrants. Which means, okay, look, if you have reason to believe that this guy over here is a terrorist, okay, present the evidence to a judge, get a warrant, boom, spy on him all you want. No civil libertarian is going to tell you you can't do that. That's worked into the system as the right way to go about it. But what dumbass Peter King wants to do is, no, a broad warrant that applies to everybody in the fucking country, and you're all part of a terrorism investigation. Well, no, I'm of the radical belief that Grandma Dorothy, Grandma Maud, 72-year-old Uncle Rufus, the janitor down the street, the cop in Seattle, the teacher at your local middle school, all these people, there's zero evidence to suggest they've ever communicated with Al-Qaeda or the Taliban or they're terrorists. So you can't fucking spy on them. But I'm the crazy one, not Peter King.